Thank you for watching You Can Do It. I'm your host, Chris, and this is part two of our hydroponics rail system build. We've brought it into our garden house, and if you missed part one on the build, on the structure of these two rail systems, we'll have that link down below to show you how to build what we've got sitting here. So we've brought this into the garden house. It's not connected yet. We've just kind of leveled it up, put a level in here, got it level. Now, I will say, if you don't have this much room in your space where you're doing it, you can always take one of these 8-foot sections, cut it in half, and basically make what we have here out of one rail system instead of two. So you could just cut it in half, put the two ends on it, and you'd have two, and you could actually put it in a 4-foot steel rack system down in the basement, or if you whatever space you have. This is pretty flexible on what you can do here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to setting our lights up. But before we do that, so we don't get any debris in these holes, we're going to flip these rail systems over so we don't get any parts or anything falling down into the holes. When we go to set our lights up, we're going to put our grow lights in next and hook up our pump. So we're going to move outside to the lights, and we'll show you what kind of grow lights we're going to use. So as you can see, these are our grow lights. We're going with the Barrina TX72 grow lights. It comes in a box of 4. We've got four 4-footers, and they all link together. These lights are 72 watts per fixture, and we can link up to 4 fixtures as they all link together with these cords. Each cord has its own on and off switch, so if you're only growing in a certain section, you can actually turn them off. These plugs here actually plug in to one another, so you don't have to have additional strip plugs to plug them in. They all plug in right here at the end, so you only need one. It comes with a timer here. These lights, when they're all linked together, are 2,000 watts equivalent. Full spectrum lights with 600 nanometer red LEDs. Each has its own on-off switch, as I had said, and there's multiple ways to mount these lights. So you can hang them on jack chain. It comes with the surface mount install kit here. We got some zip ties. You can mount them in sheetrock. It has some wedge anchors here to go into sheetrock or concrete. We have the adjustable jack chains. We're going to be suspending our lights, but each fixture has its own set of hardware, and because our ceiling is a little bit higher and I got to get down a little bit, I'm going to have to add just a little bit more jack chain. So I got some additional jack chain, but if you're installing these on a rack, adjustable shelving, you should be fine with everything that they give you here. This whole system comes complete, and we have the timer here to turn on and off these lights at any given time. So we're going to go ahead and head into our garden house. Now, you might see this house here and see that it's a greenhouse, but it doesn't have adequate lighting because on the other side of the fence is our neighbor's yard, and there's a lot of bushes and foliage that actually shades this building, so it actually stays pretty cool. So we're going to be we need more lighting in order to get our rail system to grow supremely. So we're going to go ahead and head in there and start installing the lights. I got the hooks in. They're all installed for all 4 lights. You just twist them into the rafters here, whatever wood structure you got. So I had to kind of get an idea of where I was going to have my lights come down. So I ended up having to add a little bit more jack chain. You can see the front ones are a little bit longer, mainly because this is where the starters are going to be. The seedlings will be up in here. So I want to have them a little bit lower, about 8 inches up from the top of the rail. And then the back, as the plants get taller, the lights will be, anywhere from 12 inches off the top of the rail. So I'm going to go ahead and start installing these chains here. Pretty basic. You just hook that in right to the bottom of the jack chain, or if you're going to be going directly to the hook, you'll just be taking the hook end and sliding it up into your hook that has the lag on it. Now, typically you would probably want to have this a little bit more down closer to the ground so you can work on it, but because I'm kind of short for space here, we went with this rack. So it's up off the ground, so you have to access it with a ladder or a bench. So we're going to put our connection hook in that connects from the light over to the jack chain. We'll slide that in. So we're pretty much ready for the light. I'm going to install this one first and work my way around so I'm not reaching over this light to the back side. So because I'm going to be plugging in into this outlet here, I'll probably start maybe in the back. The cord will plug in and then it'll loop from this light to the next light. The lights are suspended from the jack chain. They're all connected together. So the next step is to plug in our timer. So we've got our timer here and it has the dial on there. It's like a little sprocket and you're just going to set the time and when you want them to go on and off. The directions are really basic on showing you how to do that. Now on the side here, this red switch, this overrides the timer. So if you just want them to stay on all the time, you just flip it one way and it stays on. So I'm going to plug this in and then we're going to plug in our cord into it and set our time. But first I'm just going to go ahead and flip my switch on and just make sure they're all working. And they are. So we'll get the timer set. Meanwhile, let me flip this over and just show you why I have one light hanging lower than the others. So you see down here at this end, this is where our starters are going to go. We're going to want our lights to be right around 8 inches or so on the starter plants, and then we'll raise them up as the plants start growing and we start moving them down into these other sector here. The lights will want to just raise them up. And then once we get to the back section, our plants will be fully grown. And back here, we'll have our lights around 12, 14 inches or so, depending on what we're growing. So we're going to go ahead and start connecting up our rail system, get our baskets in, and start installing the hoses down to the water basin. So we got our grow baskets all in. This last hole right here, I wasn't going to put this hole here, but I did put it just so I can actually peek down in here. Now, a basket doesn't actually fit because it hits the bulk valve there. So I bought these caps, and the caps are good for if you're not going to be growing in a certain hole or a basket isn't going to have a plant in it, you'll put a basket cap over it so that no light can get in here to cause any algae. So there will be a cap that's going to go on this hole here to cover the hole, but I'll be able to look in there to see the water. I can actually look down inside and see what's going on in the bulk valve with the water flowing to the next rail. Baskets are installed. We got our caps on every basket. We went ahead and put basket caps on all of the baskets to cover every hole, just so until we get plants installed in these holes, we're putting caps on them just so nothing goes in there, but also sunlight doesn't go in as well, or the light from our LED grow lights. Now we've got our ball valves open, the union's connected. Next step is down here at our hose connections. We're going to go down here and start installing our hose, measure, and get our pump installed in the tank. So I'm going to install the large hose first. This is the drain hose. And so on this particular install, I'm going to be coming through the grate here on the shelf, and I'll be coming up and tying it into here. Now you can notice that this doesn't have a barb fitting. We're only gravity feeding through this pipe. So I have an 1.5-inch pipe clamp. I'm going to slide this on. It goes on nice and snug, and then I'll tighten this onto it. So we're going to feed from here, gravity feed down to our tank. Now, a lot of installs, they bring the hoses right up through the lid and cut a hole. Well, I'm going to come into the side here, and so it's going to have a nice gradual gravity feed. But right where you pop this trash can, this is a Brute Rubbermaid trash can, and I'm going to come in right through the side here where the handle is. I could actually zip tie this to the handle if I had to. I'm going to come right through here and just dump it down into the tank for the drain. So I'll be drilling a 2-inch hole through the side. This is 1.5-inch corrugated pond hose. The outside diameter is going to be a little bit smaller than the 2-inch hole saw for some play to run it in. So I'll go ahead and drill this hole, and then we're going to get some debris in here, but we'll have to take this out and clean it out with some water and vacuum it out. So I got my 2-inch hole saw. I'm going to be drilling it right here into the side. Alright. So with an 1.125-inch hole saw, I'm going to be drilling a hole just off to the side here for the main water feed. So with the 3/4 pond pump hose, we're going to run this up through here, and we're going to connect it to our feed barbed fitting right over here. So we want to grab our hose connection, hose clamp, put the hose clamp on. We'll go ahead and install this hose. Now this might be a little tight, but you might have to Alright, so we'll get the hose clamp where it needs to go and go ahead and tighten that up. Just snug it up, doesn't have to be torqued down. Alright. So the pump I'm going to be using is a Hydromag. It does 700 gallons per hour. It's kind of a large pump for this system, but we do have a 1/2-inch ball valve up here that we can control the flow. It does have this barb fitting up here that connects to the threaded pipe. It's a 1/2-inch. That's not going to fit our pipe here. It's a little bit sloppy. It's a lot smaller. However, this does thread on here if you just kind of lightly thread it on circular. It'll go down, and then just take your hose clamps, slide it on down, and snug it up. Now this pump here, it also has an air induction hose. This hose comes up and it feeds air into the line here, which gives oxygen to your plants throughout the rail system. So this is an added feature here that'll actually help your plants. It's designed for hydroponics. The only thing is, for my install, because my pump sits so far down here, and I got to get up through the lid, I had to get some longer hose. So I have a longer hose extension that's going to come up through. Now I'm going to install the pump first before I put these hoses in, so I can bring the cord out, and it's going to plug in up here, and then I'll drop the 1.5-inch hose in, and then I'll also bring the aerator hose out the side when this hose goes in as well. So I'll show you how to do that. So now we're going to measure off how much hose we need to where it comes down. Doesn't have to go all the way down to the bottom, but just enough. Give yourself enough to get down and then go ahead and cut it. I'm going to be using some pipe cutters here. This seems to cut nice and easy. So now the next hose, it's going to go down into our pump. It's going to connect up. So you're going to want to make sure you get enough in there, and maybe you could have a little bit of slack in case you wanted to pull the pump out and work on it. So I'm going to give myself plenty. And then we'll go ahead and connect this up to our pump. So the extension hose here, the hose I had to get that was longer for the muffler that goes to the air induction, I'm feeding that through the same hole here that I've got the 1.5 inch corrugated hose coming through to give myself plenty of room. And then that's just going to go right into that hose fitting right up on top. So the hose clamp is nice and tight. We got our hose here for the air induction, and then this is a filter. It just, a muffler just goes over the end of it here, just kind of sits on there, and then we're ready to just put this down in the bottom, kind of move things around. To go ahead and run a couple zip ties around these hoses along with the electrical cord just to kind of keep everything nice and snug here so it doesn't look like a mess. Keep it all uniform. Well, I hope this helped you figure out how to install your hoses and get your lighting set up. In this next video, we're going to show you how to do the nutrient solution, get the water in, the distilled water in, and start getting some plants in. So thank you for watching You Can Do It, and stay tuned for the next video.